dollars didn't go into this. 'Cause we already struggling as it is in recession. And y'all done built a property that cost millions of dollars and it done flooded in 5 days. Technically 8, but still. This is outrageous! This is outrageous! Like, I don't know. Funny work, but this is outrageous.
I think that this will be lasting for 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years. How long is temporary in this?
Temporary until the job is done, so it could be a while, but it's temporary structures, and the good thing is they don't have to go build any new buildings. They're using all the existing runways, all the existing poured concrete, and they're using tents, and they're using trailers, and everything that's being brought in can be brought right back out when they're done with this process.
Obviously, Florida has hurricane season. Your community was hit really hard just the last couple of years ago. What is the plan? Because I keep hearing the governor say there's going to be a plan, but I don't hear anyone actually document what is the plan for once you put people there. If there is a tropical storm or a hurricane warning, what is going to happen to those people? What are you going to do with them? What is the plan?
Well, if you can believe it, Jim, if these tents can withstand a strong Category 2 hurricane, so they can deal with winds up to 120 miles an hour. They're already prepared, and this is where Florida really excels. You have Kevin Guthrie, the Department of Florida Emergency Management. He helped this process by bringing all these materials. This was almost like a setup job for one of these hurricanes that we do, with all these materials, bringing it in and setting up the staging area and everything else. So I have no worries whatsoever about a hurricane. Like I said, these are built to withstand a strong Category 2.
Alligator Alcatraz has flooded. This is a sign. It has flooded, and it is no longer available for service as of now. It is being reported that it is uninhabitable. Water has compromised the structure, and it's as good as done for now. At least for the next couple of weeks, these beds are going to remain empty, and that is a major blow a few days from 4th of July. You know what this means? This means that the man up above does not agree with what is going on here. He does not agree with this. Mind you, this was the last administration under Biden, not the current one. Now, don't get confused. Those beds don't even look comfortable. This happened before in the 1940s in a certain country that's not here, but Germany. And people think that he wasn't going to step in and shut down this Alligator Alcatraz. Well, it's shut down.
Look, I don't know need to hear this, but all I can say is I told you. Y'all think God play? He don't. Let me say this loud so the blind and the deaf can hear this. God don't play about his people. Alligator Alcatraz has flooded. It's official. Alligator Alcatraz has flooded. Wasn't no climate change, but they said it could survive all these natural storms. It couldn't even survive the rain on Tuesday. The place was already demonic. Everybody think it drowning was a coincidence. It wasn't.
must say, I am sick of the government playing in our faces and us just allowing it. I saw several people saying that they felt like it was a tax-paying scheme from the jump, and I definitely 100% agree. Y'all mean to tell me y'all built a $480 million project in the middle of the swamp during hurricane season, and y'all had no idea that it was going to flood? Design intent, be for real. And then it looked like it was literally just a tent, like a few tents on a abandoned airport strip. That shit was not worth the $480 million, be for real. Y'all did not need that much money to invest into that. The government did that knowing it was going to flood, so they could get that $480 million back in insurance claims and have the money, and we won't raise too many questions or concerns about where our tax-paying, money is going. And do you know what we could have done with $480 million? Y'all always want to pull money out y'all ass, but act like y'all can't house the homeless or feed those in need. Y'all something else, I will say that.
Say it ain't so. Alligator Alcatraz already flooded, y'all. God must work in mysterious ways, ain't it? Now, they said this joint is going to be able to survive a hurricane, but it couldn't even survive a rainstorm on Tuesday. Now, let's just say the joint got real flooded, and I'm talking about alligators walking up in that joint. What they gonna do then? Like, are the guards gonna abandon them? Like, what? Can you imagine being locked in a gate while the joint flooding, and you see an alligator walking, or you see a anaconda or a python just slithering its way in between the fucking gates? What would you do? I mean, what do you expect? They put this joint together in 8 days. No mercy, no infrastructure, and probably no fucking drainage. At this point, look at it, y'all, the water just seeping in. But I promise you, they probably don't give a fuck. They don't care how these people gonna be living. This joint only one storm away from becoming a floating detention center. The fuck? Y'all let me know what y'all think about us down below in the comments.
I don't know who need to hear this, but somebody do. Trump. Do you see, Trump, that Alligator Alcatraz is already flooded? It's already flooded. Don't you see that's a sign coming from somewhere? That's a sign coming from somewhere. I hope you take heed. And it's only going to get worse. We in hurricane season. It's going to continue to rain, and it's going to continue to rain, and it's already on swamp water. It's going to only get worse. And how you going to get all these people from out of there when it get worse? Oh, I forgot. You probably don't even care anyway. But anywho, Trump, take heed. It ain't got to be like that. It ain't got to be like that. Just give them a chance to go on back home or whatever. Or do something else. All that Alligator Alcatraz, where they gonna run to? They can't run. What, they gonna run into an alligator mouth? But anywho, y'all have a blessed day.
So I've seen videos on TikTok about people celebrating or, thanking God or calling it karma or what the fuck ever when it comes to this Alligator Alcatraz apparently got flooded. And everybody's like, oh yeah, this is God is on our side. Oh my fucking God, that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to flood. They probably are so happy that everybody's saying that or thinking that, because you think that's gonna stop them once it's not flooded? No. They are gonna keep putting people in them cages and pray for another flood. And then when it floods again and 500 or however many people get drowned and then eaten by alligators. Oops, my bad. But I didn't kill them though. I didn't genocide them. Nah, bro, y'all are falling. How are you so goofy? Go crack a book. Like, the enemy is malicious and smart. And I gotta give it to the colonizers, bro. All of them, like 500 years back, they are so good at what they do, bro. It's insane. Like, it's so fucking bad that people will look you in your face and say the Atlantic slave trade never even happened. They are so good at what they do
Okay, so in this video we are seeing Alcatraz, the new place that was literally, the government spent over millions and millions of dollars just to set it up. So it was going to be a house for people who have been literally, detained by ICE. And then of course, once you are detained, they take you there, then they check whether your legal status in the country is legal or illegal, and what is gonna happen next, whether they're going to deport you or not. So basically they were looking for a big area where there's land where they can set up this place, and they found it in South Florida, a place called Alcatraz. But fact, God speaks in different languages. God is everywhere, and God, when he says something's not going to happen, no matter what you plan or how you plan it, it will not happen. So literally within a day, and you're being told it's just a simple rain, it flooded. The whole place flooded. And remember, one of the banks, or should I say one of the borders of the place, is one side is a lake full of alligators, and then the other side, you're being told usually there is like a big field, open field, right? So within one day, a simple rain, it flooded the whole area. So you wonder whether the place is safe for people to stay there, because you're being told in that water there's snakes, there's alligators, and of course, what else, other wild animals are there. So is it safe for people to stay there? Because if simple rain can flood that area, what else can happen next? Can you imagine that? So if people were can you imagine if people were inside that area? If people were inside that area, if they had already started placing people inside that area, it will have become a catastrophe. Because the water, when it's flooded and you're being told the whole area is flooded, that means it's a disaster waiting to happen. Because if the place is so flat, and if a rain, just simple rain, flood the whole area, it means if one day we end up experiencing like a storm, or experiencing like very heavy rain during the rainy season, then that place will literally be uninhabitable for human being to live there. That is the reality. So what's going to happen next? Only time will tell. Only the government will decide at the end of the day whether they're going to open up the place again once it dries up, or they're going to look for an alternative area. Only the government knows. But one thing is for sure, people need to be very careful, because that area is literally, if they don't put up safety measures, then it's going to be a disaster waiting to happen in the long run. Because within a day, just a simple rain can cause that kind of havoc. Now imagine during rainy season, it's raining every single day during a rainy season, or during a storm period, what will happen? And then of course, if you're being told also there are snakes, poisonous snakes, there are alligators are along the area. So if you put all that into the picture, it's scary, let me not lie. Anyway, like I said, God usually says he has the last say, because as human beings we can plan, but at the end of the day, if God says no, then it is no. The government came up with this plan, and they wanted to put people, immigrants, or should I say people who have been detained by ICE, and they were going to to see whether they're in America legal or illegally. And unfortunately, God said no, this is not a habitable place for human being. And so will the government decide what to relocate to another place or not? Only time will tell. At the end of the day, the government will have the final say. All right, let me know what you think about this video, and drop your comments, and please subscribe to my channel.